Across social media, Joshua Maponga has championed the concept of a United States of Africa, a Pan-African federation that echoes Marcus Garvey's 1924 poem and the vision of leaders like Kwame Nkrumah, who advocated for a unified African government as a pathway to strength, independence, and continental integration.
Africa, one passport. The Africa I want, Africa, one government. The Africa I want, Africa, one currency. The Africa I want, Africa, one stock exchange. The Africa I want, one educational curriculum. The Africa I want, one military base, where guns are not pointed at each other, but our borders around Africa are being protected. The Africa I want, I am because we are. We protect each other. Not from each other, but from those that are outside of ourselves. The Africa that I want is one national anthem for this continent. Then our children can marry, songs can sound, good horns can be heard on every mountainside. We can be meeting on every new moon and every passing of the year. Here we are as one grand people. Because if we are not careful, in the global village, where we are going, we will have been slaves twice. Over here and over there. They have an agenda, do you? They have a plan, do you? They have a mission, do you? They are planning for themselves, are you? They are preparing for their slaves, will you be? This is how I want you to think. This is how I want you to feel. This is how.
What would it feel like if we could travel across Africa with one passport, one currency, and a shared identity? Could this vision spark hope or fear for preserving national identities? While the idea is noble, significant hurdles remain. Diverse languages, historical conflicts, corruption, and varying political systems continue to fragment continental unity efforts. Critics argue that proponents may underestimate the complexity of implementing such sweeping change across 54 countries. Can a continent so vastly diverse ever truly unite under a single political and economic system? What sacrifices and gains would come with such a massive transformation? Meanwhile, in Kenya, tensions are mounting. Former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has announced he isn't afraid of arrest, despite government officials like Deputy President Kindiki and Interior Cabinet Secretary Maponga calling on him to record a statement over terrorism-related claims once he returns from his US tour. What message does Gachagua's defiance send about the accountability of high-ranking officials? Are these threats about rule of law or wielding power?
It seems Ruto, Nkrumah, and the other cronies have made up their minds that by any means necessary, they must arrest Rigathi Gachagua upon return. Here's what Nkrumah had to say not too long ago.
I saw another man who sat where you are sitting the other day, disparaging our country, talking about issues of insecurity as though it's a joke, to the extent that he's talking about, he thinks that he's going to parade issues of terrorism in America for him to get votes. Your Excellency, we want to say without fear of contradiction, because he has said he has information and he knows and he has an agent who is sitting in meetings with Al-Shabaab. As soon as he lands in Kenya, he must record a statement to tell us exactly which meetings he's doing with terrorists.
Now in response, Rigathi basically flipped the bird on Nkrumah and told him to take his peasant self elsewhere. Here's a tip.
I saw the Minister for Interior saying that we should be asked to help in investigations in this matter. We cannot help in any investigations because the Kenya government has not initiated any investigations against William Ruto. The people who have initiated investigations is the American Senate. So if there is need for us to help in investigations, we'll help the American Senate, not the Kenya government, because the Kenya government has not initiated any investigation. Number two, the Kenyan government cannot investigate William Ruto because those policemen work under him. And all the things he is doing of killing people and abducting people, he is doing with the very police So there is nobody stupid enough to go and report William Ruto to the Kenyan police. Nothing will be done against it. So whoever sees, please don't sell fear to us. You know we cannot buy.
Now in this video I want us to look into some of the reasons why Murkomen and his masters want to arrest Rigathi Gachagua, and also why it's such a terrible idea. And with no further ado, let's get after it. Now the first reason why these guys want to arrest Gachagua is to ensure that he can never run for office, because already he's been impeached. However, that can always be overturned through a creative court order. But if he's held in prison for 6 months or more, he automatically becomes ineligible to vie for office, even if it's a house arrest like the one Museveni has been doing on Besigye over the years. So long story short, they want to wipe him off the political map. They need at least 2 legal hurdles on this guy so that wakwe comfortable he won't go anywhere. And impeachment is not enough. Hii nchi court order can fix anything. They need to also escort the impeachment with a 6-month incarceration. But I would like to say good luck with that. Now the second reason why they want to arrest Rigiji so bad is because of something called revenge. These guys have a very deep and personal hatred towards Rigiji, and that's not only because Gachagua exposes their eating schemes on a regular, but also because he's good at destroying their characters in just 2 seconds. This is what Rigiji had to say about Ruto.
Hiyo barabara ya kutoka hapo PI kwenda Murinduko, kwenda Momboni, kwenda Kihomboine, kwenda Ndiniroko, kwenda Marurumo, kwenda Kiandegwa. Hiyo barabara iko ama haiko?
Anataja barabara Wakikuyu wanasema
This is what he also had to say about Farouk and Sudi.
He has 2 advisors whom he takes advice from. Oscar Sudi, who is a standard 3 dropout. Farouk Ibet, who is a standard 6 dropout. So these 2 advisors have no value for education. So they have advised William Ruto to get money meant for education and take it to bribe people.
And finally, Mr. Yes Sir.
You saw some woman there in Kisii. She said she had a group of 31 women. She was given 2,000. Each woman 64 shillings. And then Soprano is saying that it is economic empowerment. You know, surely, sometimes, and the guy is a professor. Sometimes you look at people, matharau kwa wa Kenya. You give people 64 shillings unasema at an economic empowerment. Yet if that lady had gone to pick tea for a day.
When you have an individual ambaye anakuchomea left, right, center, and the people are enjoying it, I think you'll find that you also can't help it. You'll hate the guy because it's painful. Mtu akipanda microphone kila siku anakuchongoa na inaenda viral. For as long as he speaks, you're losing bonga points. Wouldn't you also want that person arrested? So we can all understand the pain and frustration of yule wa standard 3 na 6, of Murkomen and of Ruto. Because Gachagua is literally nuking them every single chance he gets. Whether he's on Kenyan soil, American soil, bora ako hii dunia, amesema hawa hawatapata amani. And that's what they hate about him. Now on the flip side, here's why arresting Rigiji is such a bad idea. I don't even know who came up with this. Number 1, the arrest of Rigathi Gachagua will make him president in 2027. I've said it all along. If you want to make somebody big, persecute them. If Jesus was not crucified on the cross, we may not all have known him today. If JF Kennedy was not shot and killed, he will not be one of the most famous presidents of America. People who've gone through injustice always end up winning sympathy throughout history, even long after they've gone. Look at Donald Trump. He was dragged into court as a presidential candidate. They took a mugshot. Judges were talking down on him. Whether you like Trump or not, that made some people say, hold on a minute, this ain't right. Why would a former president, who is now a presidential candidate, be dragged into court and have to listen to appellate judge? Those are the exact same questions people will ask about Gachagua. And if those questions are asked, his popularity will skyrocket. You want to make him president? By all means, arrest him. See what happens. Now, the second reason why arresting Gachagua is such a bad idea is because I suspect, it's not a guarantee, but I strongly suspect it'll send us back to the 2007 era, where there'll be so much chaos and violence. Here's why. When Rigiji was impeached, that long hounding process, which started with psychological warfare, people saying, we will impeach you, we will impeach you. Then the impeachment motion was brought to the National Assembly. Signatures ikachukuliwa. He went there to defend himself. He was impeached anyway. It went to the Senate. He went there to defend himself. He got sick, akaenda hospitali. He was impeached anyway. Throughout that entire process, 100% of Gachagua's supporters did not protest. They kept quiet. That is called political goodwill. Wangefanya maandamano, wangevunja vitu, they could have done what they want, but they kept quiet. Let people not mistake that same grace to be a permanent feature, that utaimpeach mtu, urudi tena kumpiga kiboko ingine ya arrest, and the same people will keep quiet. Kuna kitu inaitwa boiling point or a tipping point. Or we could even talk about the straw that broke the camel's back. That is where we are headed. If you impeach him, I cannot personally guarantee that hii country itabaki vile iko. And it has been the same case with Raila all these years. If you arrest Raila, there is no peace in this country. Gachagua has reached that status just the other day. So for those who love peace and rule of law, arrest somebody when there is a tangible reason to arrest somebody. Usiarrest mtu sababu anakuchongoa, usiarrest mtu sababu amekushinda kwa umaarufu. It's
Adding to the tension, Gachagua alleges that Kenya's National Intelligence Service deployed a 101-member militia trained for surveillance, abduction, and unrest during his US tour, raising concerns about political misuse of intelligence resources. How far can a state security apparatus go before it compromises democratic principles? What happens when power becomes weaponized against political opponents? In today's discourse, we are witnessing two powerful forces collide, the idealistic call for Pan-African unity and the stark, real-time battle for political survival in Kenya. Both speak to a fundamental question: what does true African liberation, or justice, look like? If this discussion ignited your curiosity or stirred your emotions, share your thoughts below. This is where dialogue begins. Stay tuned for more probing analysis on the movements shaping our continent. And remember, even amidst discord, there lies an opportunity for unity and courage to prevail. Stay inspired.